this task of what we call the conquest of nature, the task of making order victorious over chaos or randomness, if you take this seriously, you will look upon it as warfare. And you will firmly believe that the most urgent thing that there possibly can be is to make order prevail over randomness, to make good prevail over evil, to make life prevail over death. And we find that when we are in a contest of this kind, a serious warfare game of this kind, and we take it seriously, we are involved in it in a very deep and bitter sense. Now, the difference of Buddhism from science as a form of knowledge.
Getting involved with us for all the right reasons, and he wanted to do what we wanted to do. And then I just realized everything that I was afraid of, I can use all that stuff. He's going to bring that to this, and and we can benefit from it.
Is directing hard?
If you're a shy person, I think there are parts of it where it's a little scary. I mean, like, I'm not necessarily that outgoing in general, and you've got to be when you're doing a movie. You've got all these people. But it's such a nice feeling when you get this group together and you're all kind of working on the same thing together. And most of it is, the other good feeling is that when we're doing a movie, I happen to know that I'm the one who does have all the answers to every question they're going to ask, because I prepared all this stuff and I know the script better, and I've worked on it all this time, and I have ideas for how I want it to be. So I can take just an automatic confidence knowing that I have the right answers.
To any period in time, when would it be and why? Oh, we got puppy pee. Oh, let's play in the puppy pee. No, we're not going to play in the puppy pee. I always wanted to know, since I was growing up, who really wrote the plays of Shakespeare. So I want to be there at that moment when Shakespeare, because I don't think it was really Shakespeare. I'm an Edward de Vere, so the Earl of Oxford. So I'd like to be there, 1600s, Shakespeare writing Hamlet. What stunt are you most proud of? Puppies. I don't do stunts, but I try to do as much action as I can. I would say that in the Matrix, the first Matrix, everybody get along. Say hi, communicate. All right, we're good.
Literally, I was thinking about live streaming my suicide because I was so fucking depressed, and I just was in the darkest place I've ever been. And there's no reason to go through with something like that when you haven't even explored all your options yet, and you haven't even seen what else there is. You think you've seen this or that, but there's so much more. I learned something literally every year, every couple of years, and I just look back at myself a year ago and I'm like, fuck, I was stupid as hell, for even thinking that way. But you're not the only one who suffers from that decision, and all you're doing essentially is taking your suffering and putting it on everybody else. And I think that's the worst thing you could do. Just know that you're not alone in feeling how you do, and I feel the same way every day, and I cope with it, so you can too. Depression is yeah.
I thought to myself, well, I've got a great line for this this lady. The first time that my main character meets her is at a Holiday Inn restaurant where he thinks she orders a sneeze burger. Because she speaks so low, she's actually ordering a cheeseburger. So I thought she was a walk-on. I thought she was a flat character. Little by little, she's become more and more important to me and more fun to write about. And I started to see that she has an interior life. And you begin by observing. You have to look. Raise your hand again if you're in the writing courses. You have to look. You have to see. You can't just walk and let it all go by. Some of this has got to stay. You've got to see how people are.
And that's an enormous freedom. You recognize it as a thought that comes from anger, not the truth. It's a thought form that comes from anger, the pain body. And if a thought comes from anger, it's not the truth, it's a distortion. Recognize it and you say, oh, there's another thought form that says something negative, that there's nothing you can do, you might as well give up. Whatever thoughts come, recognize that it's a thought form. Do you see how important that is? Well, perhaps we will meet again in a year's time, and it's always interesting to see how things have evolved as you practice now. What happened to you as you bring awareness into the anger, see what happens to it a year later.
What you see is, what you hear, what you experience is only sound. You are not recognize awareness who listen to sound. So you have only sound. But if you recognize awareness, you come here to learn meditation, then you listen to sound, you know you listen to sound. So you recognize awareness there. In this case, then you have some kind of freedom, sense of freedom. Because your mind not only relying on these outer phenomena, like form, sound, smell, taste, sensation, even thought and emotion, what we call outer phenomena. If you not recognize awareness with that, then your mind always observe.
Lawmakers who aren't going to attend the State of the Union because they think our president's a racist. I mean, where are we?
You know, the president is a racist, which is very sad. I'm disheartened by policies that are xenophobic and sexist, and there are many strides backwards every day. So what I am encouraged by is that the movie Get Out has been heard and received, and that I'm seeing many other examples of art and film and television that are expressing these pains, frustrations, love in new ways, and that they're being received and heard.
You're in search of what?
Well, these are all interests that I've had since I was a teenager. I was a painter when I was, before I was an actor. I studied English, in school, and so these are all interests of mine, and I like the idea of being able to deliver my subject matter in the best form possible. And so I don't think every subject is fit for a movie, but it'd be better told in a book, or if you want to make a political piece, poetry probably isn't the best way, but maybe make a documentary or something like that. So I like that freedom, but I also like the idea of examining how these different forms and mediums interact.
And how they blend together.
How they blend, what their limitations are.
How do you do it?
When movies make us uncomfortable or challenge us or make us think differently. So I think I'm pleased about that part. That's how I felt making it. I think that's why I wanted to make the movie, right? Because it wasn't easy for me. I felt such a wide array of feelings towards Arthur Joker in preparing for the role, and the people that I studied for the character. I like that. There are things that I read about certain people that filled me with a fury and an anger towards them. And then as I would dig deeper into their lives and get into some of the trauma they experienced as children, my feelings would suddenly change.
I'm clear to you, and seeing me in person, I had 2 semesters of ballet, but I'm a human being. So Ron Swanson is staunchly dependable. He's an expertly written comedy character, and I'm complicated. I make a lot more mistakes. I'm more wishy-washy. I'm a human being. I'm not a libertarian. Libertarianism is dumb. It's wonderfully written, and it works perfectly as it needs to in the formula as a foil against Leslie Knope on our show. And the sort of core tenets of libertarianism are absolutely admirable, but obviously they can't work.
Can you tell us what new metal means to you?
It is my version of metal. I believe I'm calling my new album post-genre.
Got it.
Because there isn't really any genres of music anymore.
Okay, so you also have some exciting publishing news
Yes.
to tell us. This is Genesis 1. Tell us about this.
Well, Genesis 1 is a graphic novel, and there's been a lot of speculation about who I am and where I've come from. And I hope I get to answer some of those questions and theories.
I just want to wallpaper there. It's really beautifully done inside. You know, there was the anime convention just here, and I mean, the pictures are beautiful. You're actually going to Comic-Con too, right?
Tomorrow.
Look at how it's really beautifully well done. What is your age range of the people that you generally appeal to?
Well, all ages. Whoever wants to make the world happy and cute.
Excellent. Well,
But
thank you.
you say happy and cute, but that video didn't look too happy or cute.
I'm happy and cute.
Correct and exact about, as much as we could about who he was, but I also knew I didn't look like him, which was
Not at all.
Not at all.
He was bigger, heavier.
Yeah, and there was a period of time where he was actually skinny too, though. That
Must have been young.
Yeah, his younger years. The years that we're playing him, he was a much thinner. But in terms of complexion, I knew that I didn't look anything like him and had reservations about playing a role because of that. And it was his son, actually, who wrote a letter to me, who said that he wanted me to play his father because he felt that I could capture the essence again.
That's what you look for all the time, right?
Essence is the most important thing. It should never be
an imitation.
An imitation. Yeah. Because if you're imitating the person, sometimes you're making fun of them. And so you want to always have the internal.
Well, because I only just left for the night and to come here and to aid this wonderful charity for muscular dystrophy, and I can't leave my young son any longer because he has no nurse at the moment, and my husband and a friend is there, but I must rush back.
How is he?
He's wonderful, thank you.
Good.
Have I ever done a picture that I didn't like for the money?
Yes, for the money.
Never. No, I've never done this. I was born with my own instincts, which I try to stay true to.
Is it difficult in this business to stay true to your instincts?
It's never been hard for me, and that's where I'm saying that humbly. I'm saying that I'm one, perhaps a rarely fortunate person, because I followed my instincts and they've brought me nothing but blessings and good fortune and terribly kind people to work with. And so far it's been all right.